Hey there, history hunters, and welcome back to the channel where we dig into the past's most intriguing and often unsettling stories. I'm your guide, and today we're diving deep into a rabbit hole that even Alice might have thought twice about. We're talking about the CIA's mkultra program, a name that, for many, conjures images of secret experiments, mind control, and chilling government secrets. You might think that after all these years, everything about mkultra is out in the open. But trust me, you'd be wrong. Even with declassified documents, so much remains shrouded in mystery. So grab a comfy seat, dim the lights, and prepare to have your mind, well, not controlled, but definitely captivated as we explore the top 10 most mysterious and still hidden aspects of mkultra. And if you're as fascinated by these hidden histories as I am, do me a huge favor and hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you don't miss our next historical deep dive. Imagine, if you will, a secret government project. You hear that 149 sub-projects were officially documented. Sounds like a lot, right? But here's the unsettling truth. That number is just the tip of the iceberg. We know for a fact that in 1973, on direct orders from the CIA, a massive shredding spree took place. Thousands of records were deliberately destroyed. Poof, gone. Think about that for a moment. What kind of experiments were so disturbing, so unethical, that they had to be completely wiped from existence? It suggests a scale of human experimentation far beyond what we currently understand. It's like finding a small folder of documents and knowing there were entire filing cabinets that went up in smoke. The true horror, the true breadth of what they were doing might forever remain hidden in those ashes. So we know experiments happened, but who were the targets? This is where it gets truly dark. It's still unclear how many people were subjected to these mind-bending tests. We're not just talking about willing volunteers here. Many were unwitting citizens, prisoners, people in psychiatric facilities, even college students just trying to get through their day. Can you imagine being a regular person going about your life, completely unaware that you were part of a secret government experiment, that you were dosed with powerful drugs or put through psychological manipulations, all without your knowledge or consent? For many of these individuals, they might have experienced strange mental health issues, profound confusion, or personality changes, never once connecting it to a top-secret government program. They simply suffered, and they may never know why. It's a chilling thought that some of us could have walked past someone or even known someone who was an unwitting victim of mkultra. The shadows of mkultra hold even darker secrets. We know of at least one confirmed death directly linked to the program: Frank Olson. This was a scientist who, after being unknowingly dosed with LSD, reportedly plunged to his death from a hotel window. Was he pushed? Did he jump in a drug-induced hallucination? The circumstances remain deeply mysterious and debated to this day. But here's the question that haunts so many of us. How many other deaths occurred under the veil of mkultra? How many people, pushed to their limits by these experiments, simply vanished or died under mysterious circumstances that were never investigated? The destruction of records makes it almost impossible to know. It's a terrifying possibility that unmarked graves exist, holding the secrets of those who didn't survive the CIA's quest for mind control. We may never, ever know the true body count. When you hear about mkultra, you probably think of secret labs within the United States. But what if this operation wasn't confined to American soil? There's strong evidence, and many believe, that mkultra had undisclosed labs and test sites stretching across the globe, in Europe, Asia, and even Canada. The most infamous example pointing to this international reach comes from McGill University in Canada, where Dr. Ewan Cameron conducted horrific experiments involving sensory deprivation and drug-induced comas. This wasn't just a rogue doctor, it was a program heavily funded by the CIA. The fact that such a prominent institution in another country was involved hints at a much wider, more clandestine network. Were there similar operations happening in other nations, far from public scrutiny, pushing the boundaries of human experimentation in secret facilities we still don't know about? It makes you wonder how deep this global web truly went. The official narrative of mkultra often focuses on mind control. The idea of using LSD and hypnosis to control thoughts and actions. But was that the real purpose or just a convenient cover story? Many believe it was far more sinister, serving as a desperate, all-encompassing effort during the Cold War. Think about it. During a time of intense global paranoia, what would governments truly prioritize? Psychological warfare, brainwashing techniques for enemies, interrogation methods that could break anyone. Was mind control just a broad term encompassing the development of techniques to manipulate, coerce, and extract information from anyone, anywhere? It's a chilling thought that the search for total psychological dominance was the true driving force, with LSD and hypnosis being merely tools in a much larger, more terrifying arsenal. You'd think major respected institutions like Harvard, Stanford, and MIT would be untouchable, beacons of ethical research. But here's the shocker. These and many other influential universities unknowingly participated in MKUltra through CIA front funding. They received grants for seemingly legitimate research, unaware that the money was coming from a secret mind control program. The big question here is, were all the academics truly fooled? Or were some willing collaborators turning a blind eye to the questionable ethics in exchange for funding and prestige? It blurs the lines between innocent research and complicit experimentation. It makes you wonder about the integrity of institutions we trust and how easily they can be manipulated, even if unknowingly, for shadowy government agendas. It's a stain on the history of academic research that still hasn't fully dried. This is perhaps one of the most unsettling theories about MKUltra. The program officially ended in 1973. But do you really believe that? Many, including myself, suspect that this kind of research didn't just stop. It simply went deeper underground, continuing under new, even more obscure code names. We hear whispers of projects like Project Monarch or Artichoke, names that sound like something out of a spy novel, but which are linked to similar mind control techniques. The suspicion is that the CIA, having invested so much time and resources into this area, simply rebranded their efforts. If mind control is possible, and if they were close to achieving it, why would they ever truly abandon the research? The chilling thought is that these kinds of psychological manipulation experiments never stopped. They just became even more secretive, more sophisticated, and more difficult to detect. What new projects are running today, completely out of our sight? Now this is where things get truly wild and veer into the realm of fascinating, if unproven, theories. Some believe that MKUltra didn't just stay in the labs, it influenced pop culture and even targeted celebrities. The names of Marilyn Monroe and Charles Manson frequently surface in these discussions. Could powerful figures in the entertainment industry have been unwitting subjects or even tools of influence? Did MKUltra principles play a role in controlling public perception or manipulating artistic expression? It's a tantalizing idea that secret government programs might have had a hand in shaping the very stories we tell and the stars we idolize. While largely speculative, the thought that the entertainment industry itself could have been a subtle battleground for psychological influence is a mind-bending concept that makes you look at your favorite movies and music in a whole new light. Remember how we talked about 149 documented subprojects? Well, here's the kicker. Only a fraction of those have ever been fully detailed. We have hints, fragments, and heavily redacted documents. But what about Subproject 84 or 102? What about Subproject 136? Many of these numbers remain classified, heavily redacted, or simply lost. This isn't just about missing paperwork, it's about untold horrors. Each sub-project represents a series of experiments, likely on human beings. What kind of unspeakable acts were performed under these numbers that the CIA deemed too sensitive, too shocking, or too illegal to ever reveal? The very existence of these unknown sub-projects suggests a vast array of experiments so disturbing that they remain hidden, perhaps forever, in the deepest vaults of government secrecy. The imagination reels at what was done under those code names. Finally, and perhaps most relevant to our modern world, is the chilling legacy of MKUltra. Experts genuinely fear that the psychological manipulation methods developed during this program laid the foundational groundwork for much of what we see today in propaganda, surveillance psychology, and even digital control? Think about it. The relentless targeting of our attention, the algorithms that nudge our opinions, the constant data collection that builds detailed psychological profiles of each of us. Could today's tech giants, knowingly or unknowingly, be using principles born from the twisted experiments of mkultra? The goal back then was to influence minds and control behavior. The tools have changed, but the objective remains unsettlingly similar. It makes you question every push notification, every targeted ad, every curated news feed. Are we, in a way, living in a world subtly shaped by the dark legacy of mkultra, simply on a much grander, more technological scale? And there you have it, History Hunters. 10 aspects of MKCIA's Ultra program that continue to haunt us and raise more questions than answers. This is a story that reminds us of the profound dangers of unchecked power and the lengths to which some will go in the name of national security. What are your thoughts on mkultra? Do any of these mysteries stand out to you? Let me know in the comments below. And if you found this deep dive as fascinating as I did, please take a moment to subscribe to the History Hunt. We've got so many more incredible, unsettling, and often hidden stories to uncover together. Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep digging for the truth.